Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm just wonderful. How about you?
Good. Welcome back to another episode of Wicked.
Mysterious.
Oh, I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm Katie. And
And
this is, we
I
suck.
actually don't know what this is
Oh, we're not
again.
prepared. We're not prepared.
I know, I'm sorry, but we can tell them about your voice while I'm looking for
Yes,
that.
yes. I'm Katie and I have me a case of the laryngitis.
Oh,
So bear with my voice. I'm not talking much since Danny's doing this episode, but it is pretty annoying. So I'm sorry about that. I also have a very dry cough. So,
oh no.
yeah,
Is that
just
the
mute.
COVID?
No, it's not the COVID. Please.
Good.
No, they're always testing me for that shit. I'm like, it's not the COVID. I would know.
All right. So Katie's going to be maybe a little more quieter this time around.
Yeah.
This is season 2, episode 11,
Ow.
right? It just keeps getting higher and higher. Really.
Yes, it does.
Every week, every week.
Isn't it a beautiful thing?
All right. Are we
I'm
ready?
proud of us, though. I'm proud of us.
I am too, because sometimes it's really hard to get this done and we still manage to pull it off, however
do.
last minute it may be, which is one day is going to bite us in the ass, but we're doing
Right.
it.
We're doing it. Exactly. Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah. We both got all sorts of stuff going on too. So it's
Yeah.
hard to get ahead.
It really is. It really is tough. Life is just wild.
It's all right. Yeah, we're good.
We're
We
good.
got this.
We love it.
Okay.
Right.
Are you ready?
I'm Katie.
Okay. On that note, here we go. There are many cultures that believe in fate and destiny. They believe that some unseen force has predetermined a future in which there is no way to escape. But imagine if your destiny included another person, but try as you might, you just can't figure out why. The red thread of fate, sometimes known as the string of fate, or red thread of marriage, is a Chinese philosophy similar to the idea of a soulmate. The invisible red string is tied around the fingers of two people who are destined to be together. The string might tangle or even stretch through time and space, but can never be cut or broken. Some people believe that this red thread may not only apply to marriage, but also to soulmate-type friendships or relationships where you and the other person are supposed to accomplish something as a team.
Wow, that's us.
I know, I thought that too. So let's get into it.
Ooh, I like it.
I know you know this story.
Excited. Oh, it's a story. I thought it was just like the general concept. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
actually, I started off with it being the concept and I wanted to find other examples of it and I couldn't find any. So this is the clearest one that I found. So we'll talk about that.
Cool.
A TikTok user by the name of AJ Magnifica 18 or Alanna Joe tells a wild tale about this red thread of fate in her series labeled Steve. Alanna is a mom and teacher and is happily married, but there is no denying the strange amount of coincidences in her life regarding an acquaintance she calls Steve, who appears repeatedly in her life under strange circumstances.
I'm excited. I really like it.
Yes. These circumstances are stranger than just sheer coincidence, and also Steve is not his real name. Alanna and Steve started school together in New York. They were in the same classes in kindergarten, first, and second grade, which isn't that strange because they were in the same town and attended the same school, and of course, classes are just the luck of the draw. Part of the way through her second grade school year, Alanna's family moved to a town just outside of Detroit, and a few months later, Alanna's teacher said they had a new student joining their class who was also from Michigan, and in walked Steve. Alanna was able to write this off because both of their fathers worked in the same industry and they could have been following job opportunities, though they did not work at the same place and they did not know each other.
Weird.
So before we continue on with the strangeness, I just want to say real quick that Alanna says repeatedly that they're not related and their parents were definitely not having affairs, and the parents didn't know each other. In later interviews with Steve, he clarifies the reason for some of their moves, which had nothing to do with Alanna's family. Also, a lot of people asked why Steve and Alanna weren't friends, and she just says simply that they just never hit it off as friends, and they had nothing really in common, especially in elementary school when it's less likely to have friends of the opposite gender.
True.
So after this first move, they were in the same classes again from 2nd through 4th grade, and in 5th grade, Alanna's family moved to a different side of town, which caused Alanna to switch elementary schools. Sure enough, 1 month later, Steve joined her class. And then a few years after that, in 7th grade, Alanna and her family moved back to New York to a different town than the one they had previously lived. A few months later, she ran into, guess who? Steve. In the hallway of her new school.
Shut up.
His family had just moved back from Michigan.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So crazy weird. I want to know if he was cute. Did you think he was cute? Because, like,
it doesn't sound like it.
No, obviously not.
It doesn't sound like there was any chemistry at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
How unfortunate.
I know. They spent 7th and 8th grade in the same school, and then Steve's family moved away in the 9th grade. So they attended different high schools and different colleges, hadn't seen each other during their high school years. Okay. In 2004, when she was in college, Alanna spent a semester abroad in Madrid. Alanna and her roommate, who was from Boston, would spend time at the bars in Madrid that were playing the Red Sox versus Yankees ALCS games, which at the time, especially if you lived anywhere around Boston, were a very big deal. Oh, yeah. So one night, Alanna entered one of these bars, and sitting there at a table in Madrid was Steve. They briefly discussed how strange it was that they were running into each other again. Steve was also studying abroad, but in London. Steve just happened to be visiting friends in Spain and happened to be at that bar watching the same game when Alanna walked in.
It's just not coincidence. That's so wild.
It's not coincidence. So a few months later, after this run-in, Alanna and her friends decide to take the trip to Prague for Christmas. They end up getting lost, and they find themselves outside of an Irish pub in a dark alley. They stop in for drinks, and who was there but Steve?
No, sir.
Yes.
Oh.
Prague is 1,400 miles from Madrid, by the way. Not even close by. So, fast forward over a decade, Alanna is now a teacher at a school in New York. One of her newer coworkers mentioned her fiance in conversation, and lo and behold, guess who this coworker's fiance is?
It's Patrick.
Yes. It's Steve. Wow. Steve ended up moving away and started a job at a new company in a new city, nowhere near Alanna in New York. But Alanna received a Facebook message from an old friend's sister who explained that a man just started at her company, and they realized they knew each other through Alanna.
Oh my goodness. At this point, I mean, they must be thinking they're supposed to be soulmates or something. I know there's no chemistry, but like,
yeah, a lot of people were commenting that, and Alanna's married, and at the time Steve was engaged, and it seems like the only thing connecting them is the weird coincidence. There's nothing else there. She's like very firm on that. She's happily married and there's no chemistry at all, even though a lot of people are, of course, saying that.
Yeah.
She doesn't think so.
Right.
All right. So before he moved away, Steve and Alanna met up so Alanna could ask him questions for her TikTok followers. And Steve never appears on camera. You can only hear his voice, but you can tell that there's no romantic connection between them.
Uh-huh.
A lot of commenters also thought that Steve was some sort of stalker, but Alanna, of course, dismisses this completely, and there doesn't seem to be any suspicion of this on her part.
Yeah. 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 What about if like the dad, like Steve's, we don't have full information if like his father and mother were together. Like we don't know that, right? We know that
No.
his father was involved because of we know he worked in the similar industry as her father, right?
Yes.
But but like yeah, I wonder. No, maybe his no. I need to stop. All right, go ahead. Go on.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying they must be related, but I don't know why that would be a thing. Like
No, I wouldn't think that.
she would
Yeah,
know, and there would be reason for them to move. Like it doesn't,
that
I
would
don't
be
know why
weird.
that's like the suspicion, but they're
I
not.
could I could totally see the whole parents having an affair thing because
Yeah,
like you wouldn't want the kids to pick up on it and you try to
right.
be like, nonchalant about it.
Yep.
That I could see, but
She was
no.
like wicked offended when people were asking her that because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she said her father had passed, so
Oh
she was
yeah.
like did not want anybody even saying that about him,
Yeah, yeah.
which makes sense, you know. But
For sure.
that is what I thought too. But
Yeah. Yeah.
supposedly that's not a thing.
Yeah.
So after meeting with Steve, she received a package in the mail from him. Did you see this one?
Uh-uh.
This one? Okay. So inside the package is Alana's autograph book that she lost at Disney World in 1994.
Shut up right now. I have
I
goosebumps.
know. Steve says that his family found it on a bench in Disney in 1994 and forgot to turn it into Lost and Found. It had recently been found after he met with Alanna to do that interview for TikTok. It was found in his parents' basement when they were cleaning it out. So they originally wanted to turn it into Lost and Found. They didn't. They bring it home from their trip in 1994. It ends up boxed and put away in his parents' basement. He finds it like a week or two after meeting with Alanna. So they're going through the stuff in the basement. He starts thumbing through this autograph book, realizes it has Alana's name and photos in it. I'm getting like chills all the
I
way
do
up my
too.
legs.
I have him too. Look at that. You can't see. Wow.
So this is the point where it really started to be too weird to be true.
Yeah.
But I also don't think she's lying.
Right.
She
I don't think
doesn't,
so. Yeah.
unless she's a great actress, which she might be, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't think she's lying. I just wanna believe it.
I know. I do too. I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Um, so they realized that they were at Disney at the same time, though Alanna insists that that in itself isn't strange because a lot of people go to Disney on school vacation, which is
Yeah.
true.
True. Very true.
But
Yeah.
still.
It still is right. Like there's plenty of other places you can vacation on school vacation, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And
So,
for a lot of people, Disney's like a once in a lifetime thing.
oh my.
So
And then there's like other people that like live, eat, and breathe it. It's like,
I know,
how the hell, shout out to all my Disney mom friends out there. How the hell do you do it with
I
like,
know,
without going bankrupt?
I know. I want to go to Disney again, but the thought of planning it is so stressful to me that I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah. I think travel agents do it all for you nowadays. Like they
Yeah, they
literally,
do. They
yeah,
do.
that's what I would do.
Actually,
I wouldn't even try.
the pizza place near me, the one that just moved there, um, I walked in the other day and they had Disney pamphlets like through a travel agency, and
Uh-huh.
it had like a whole list of things that like are supposed to make you excited and call them. I brought it home to like look at it and think about, but
Yeah. It's still a step towards it.
yeah,
Yeah.
manifesting it, right?
Hmm.
All right. So Alanna also has some weird stuff surrounding her. I forgot to write it down, but Alana's not a super common name, right? She has like people that married into her family. I think it's like her brother's wife's name is like Alanna. And then there was
Hmm.
one other one that was like another
Alenna.
variation of
Yeah.
Alanna,
Like Alenna, like with an E or
something
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's three of them in the same family.
I have a little cousin named Alana, but I don't know a single other Alana besides
I don't
that.
think I do. I don't think I do either.
Yeah, it is definitely not like a super popular name.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's
then to
weird.
have that,
Yeah.
so that's a weird thing. But so the Steve thing is not the only strange coincidence with her, though. She seems to be the type of person where weird things just happen to her, like that name
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't consider herself psychic, but says she's very intuitive and empathetic. She
Hmm.
can feel when something's off, and she's great at reading energy in a room.
Yep.
But these weird synchronicities seem to follow her. One of these synchronicities is the name Anderson. It's appeared in her life often. When her son was younger, one of her sons, the younger of her sons, he insisted that there was a man in his room named Mr. Anderson. And he would talk about it so much that it became a thing where her older son would pick on him and be like, Mr. Anderson's going to get you. And it was like a thing. And she even like to prove this to the followers, she even asks the kids, hey, what was the name of that guy that you used to say was in your room? And the little one's like, Mr. Anderson. And then she said to the older one too, like, hey, what was the name of the guy that you used to tease your brother about? And he's like, Mr. Anderson. And then she also realized that the people they bought their home from were also the Andersons, as was their old landlords were also by the name Anderson.
Welcome to Murder Lust, another true crime podcast in an already oversaturated niche.
We do things a bit differently in Murder Lust world. We understand that not every victim lights up a room when they walk in.
And trigger warnings? We don't do those. The whole episode is a trigger warning.
You might even forget the phrase, "Hello Fresh." You won't be hearing it every 15 minutes.
Join us where dark humor prevails, research is king, and real-life audio brings the stories to life.
Murder Lust, because the darkest truths are best served with a side of twisted humor.
That is very weird because again, it is not like, yeah, it's just really strange. It's not like Bob, it's not
Right.
like Anderson.
So Steve also had a connection with the name Anderson, but cryptically would not say what. So
Huh.
he's very cryptic in like his texts to Alanna, and also in the interview. He alludes to things but then won't say much. Like he said that there was a reason his family moved so much, but he doesn't want to like divulge personal family information. But then he also was like, oh, Anderson, and then wouldn't say what it was. Like he definitely has some sort of connection to it, but
Huh.
wouldn't elaborate. So that's like a weird thing.
This obviously has no connection to them, but I swear today in the wee hours of the morning, I went looking for an endocrinologist because, me with my thyroid probs, I haven't seen one in so many years. And I looked up, I'm not going to say the provider's like whole name, but today I sent a request to A. Anderson.
That's so weird.
Where to you on my ready up in heaven. I'm telling you, that's weird, right? The name Anderson.
Because I
I'll
also
send
have a
you.
connection with this next part. So I'll tell you when I
Weird.
get there.
Okay, I'll screenshot you the provider afterwards to show you who, but weird, right?
Yeah. So
I want to
weird.
know yours. I want to know yours.
All right. So, just to finish the Anderson thing, just last week, Alanna posted a video explaining that she had her furnace replaced and the receipt was signed by the contractor. And guess what his name was?
Lewis.
Steven Anderson.
Wow.
What?
That's wild.
She was
Yeah.
like freaking out.
That's so weird.
Okay. So Alanna has another connection with the number 717. This was the date her grandfather passed. And then she started seeing it everywhere. Like her son's sport jerseys were 7 and 17. She always looks at the clock at 7:17. So, tonight I was talking to my mom on the phone and she's like, oh, what's your episode about? And I do this big long spiel about this girl and Steve and Anderson and 717. And my mom goes, oh, that's weird because 717 was my grandfather's birthday. And I said, oh, that is weird. And she said, yeah, actually, one of my license plates, and I remember it was a license plate my dad had when I was in high school. It was 7177. And my mom's aunt saw it and was like, "Oh, that was Grandpa's birthday." And my mom said that he always played 717 in the lottery. And I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
now I got to play 717 somehow."
Yeah, you do. Wow,
So
that's
that was
weird.
my weird connection to it too,
Weird.
right?
Both of us today.
Yeah. So this grandfather that passed, Alanna was very close with him. And so he died in July. And then the following February, after he died, she looked at her phone and realized she had a missed call from Papa. She was looking at her phone, like wondering how this could have possibly happened. And her phone started ringing again with another call from Papa, which freaked her out so bad that she accidentally dropped her phone and the call declined. And then a voicemail was left, which was just white noise.
What?
Yeah. And she had it saved, but it was an old BlackBerry, so she doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
So she called her family and quickly realized that her grandfather's phone had been canceled and the number was no longer his. So her aunt, Alanna's aunt, was all freaked out and called the number, her papa's old number,
Yep.
and the person that answered said they didn't call Alanna and had no idea what she was talking about. Plus, if you think about it, that guy wouldn't have had Alanna's number. It's not like you inherit their phone and their contacts list.
Right. Absolutely not.
It's just a new number.
Right. Yep. Wow.
So, yeah. So it gets weirder. Alanna Googled the number and saw that it was in Sullivan County, New York. And when she opened the map of Sullivan County, she immediately noticed the town of Anderson.
Wow.
A TikTok commenter said that they were curious if 717 was also an area code, and it is in Pennsylvania. It's also the area code for Anderson, Pennsylvania.
Stop it. You just keep throwing them at me. I can't take any more goosebumps.
I know. Alanna also has a strange connection with birds, especially blue jays.
Okay.
Twice in her life, she's hit a blue jay and it got stuck in the grill of her car.
Wow.
And another time, her cat brought her a dead blue jay.
Wow.
She's worked at this she's worked part-time at this local coffee shop for over 25 years. And one day around Christmas this past year, a customer came in and insisted he knew her. Alanna explained that he probably just recognized her from her years of working there. And he went on to say that he had a box of toys that he was donating for Christmas. And he said one of them was definitely for her. He kept telling her he had a strong feeling to give this to her. He went out to his car, came back in and handed her a wrapped present and left. When she opened it, it was a stuffed blue jay.
That's what I was going to say. It was a stuffed blue jay. I knew it. It. Wow. Wow.
Okay. And then another follower of Alanna's found a town in the 717 area code by the name of Bird in Hand. In Bird in Hand, using Google Maps, the follower found a psychic. And guess what the name of the psychic is?
Let me guess. Stephen Anderson. Anderson?
Mrs. Anderson, psychic, tarot card reader, and advisor.
Wow.
Guess what her email address is?
It's Anderson 717.
Mrs. Anderson 717.
Wow.
She emailed her, but has yet to hear from her.
Wow. This is crazy.
So Alanna still makes TikTok videos on a regular basis. So give her a follow if you want to see how all of this unfolds. She's very likable and she's very interesting. And I really enjoy listening to her stories. So again, it's AJ Magnifica 18.
Okay.
Also,
and so is her entire TikTok dedicated to this?
No.
Like, strange? No.
No, but she does have
These things.
A Steve playlist. So if you follow her, like, you'll see any updates she has on the Steve thing.
Okay. So she continues to post like other types of videos, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. She
Cool.
also posted this video, which I thought was super weird. She has like security cameras outside of her house, and somebody like came out of like her backyard somehow and
Oh
went
boy.
around to her front yard where she has a big hill and just started sledding in her front yard on camera. And then they came back like a couple days later or maybe a week later after we had all that snow, and her kids have like a playhouse in the backyard, and they went inside the playhouse and took out a sled. They were like storing it there and then ran around the side of her house and went down the hill again. And she's like, what the
Wow.
fuck? Like
Oh
a
boy.
phantom sledder. Isn't that weird? So she does post, the weird things that happen to her, but it's most of her content is not. I'd say probably like half is
Yeah.
is about like these weird things that happen to her.
That's cool. Awesome.
So we want to hear your weird glitch in the Matrix stories.
Yeah, I wish I had something like even half as cool as that.
I do, but I kind of forget what they are because one of the psychics that she did talk to did tell her, like, confirmed the Blue Jay thing and the 717 thing. And it's like, oh, it's a sign from the universe. Follow it. It means you're on the right path. But it's like, sometimes you follow it and all you do is see more of it. And then you're like, what the fuck? Like, what does it mean? Like, that type of stuff happens to me all the time. I'll think something and it will show up.
Yeah.
Especially with like Facebook. And I know the algorithm's really good, but sometimes it seems like it's more than that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking even about advertising, but like I was driving in the car the other day and I heard we had like a free trial of XM radio, and they played an Offspring song that was like a lesser known hit that I
Yep.
hadn't heard in, I don't know, probably 10 years.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I totally forgot about this song. And then like 5 minutes later, I opened Facebook and there was a picture of the lead singer of Offspring. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Weird.
I don't think that's Facebook listening. Maybe it is, but
Yeah, I don't
usually they
know.
only listen for advertising reasons,
Yeah. Right. I don't really have anything like that. I mean, if I like, it's usually like people I'm really, like we've talked about before, like people I'm really close to.
Yeah.
I can like feel them, or I can, if I think about them, even if I haven't seen them in a long time, if I've had a strong connection with them, if I think about them, I'll see them.
Yeah.
That's like the most I get, but
Yeah.
no, the
Sometimes
most
I'll dream
active.
about stuff and then something in my life will happen. Like I told you about that, unfortunately, that mansion that caught fire that I knew some people that lived, like, it was like an artist commune. But I had a dream the night before that I was like in an old mansion. And then the next day I saw it on the news. It was just weird stuff like that.
That is like wicked weird. Yeah. I think it'd be so awesome to do a whole episode just reading people's synchronicities.
I would love that.
Yeah. So
Please send them to us.
Yeah.
I try to find them. There's a lot of glitch in the Matrix ones. That's why I wanted to start this series, because there's like a shit ton of them on Reddit. There was one that was like wicked good that we'll cover later as a mini, I think.
Yeah. I just thought of my laptop thing that I know I sent you, but you never responded back because it must not have been cool. But
I don't remember it. I might have missed it.
I bought a new laptop and I received it, and then I went on my Snap and it showed me stories from 4 years ago. And on that very same day, 4 years ago, I received my laptop, then new laptop in the mail. So both times of the year at the same exact time, I placed an order on Amazon and I got them both on the same day. Very weird.
Wow.
Yeah. Little things like that, but I don't remember them. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, if I didn't have Facebook memories, that happens to me too, not to that extent, but like I'll be thinking of something that happened and then the next day it's a Facebook memory.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so weird. Somebody told me once that your body stores memories. Like,
yeah, I believe that, because like, you mean like in your organs and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you don't consciously think of it, but like the example that was told to me was this guy who, I can't remember, something tragic happened to him. Like he lost a family member or something. And then like a year or however many years to the day later, he started feeling like he was having a heart attack and there was nothing wrong with him. And then when he went to like a therapist, they were like, well, what day was it? And then he realized it was the anniversary of something, and it was like your body remembers the shock, which is so weird because if you're not consciously thinking of it, how does your body know the date?
Yeah,
You know?
right. But man, I wouldn't put it past these bodies.
I know, right?
The human body.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah, and the brain. But yeah, so what should we tell people to send it to our Facebook or our email, our wicked mysterious podcast at gmail.com?
Is that even our email?
Yeah.
Is it podcast or pod?
No, it's podcast, I think. Wicked Mysterious Podcast.
It's pod. Says Google. Says Gmail.
Oops.
That's okay.
Oh boy.
It's Wicked Mysterious Pod at Gmail. Or
Danny
our
made
Facebook group, Wicked Mysterious Podcast Discussion Group, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then we also have a link in all of our bios that you can just click on email or our website. But
that'd be cool if we get enough. We can get enough stories from people and read them. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for all the messages. We don't have any good fan mail, but we do have like lots of good conversation going, which is nice, but I apologize. I don't always have time to keep the convo going.
Yeah, and our inbox is flooded, so we don't have the time to get to all the messages.
Yeah. And that's why we have none for this week.
Well, that was great.
It's been a long time since we haven't had a listener mail episode, so.
Yeah. So that's fine. We could take a break every once in a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was fun. That was a really fun, light episode. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
I really like her story.
Yeah, shout out to Alanna out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for what am I looking for? The word
chills.
The good chills.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Special thank you to our Patreon subscribers, Miranda, Linda, Dana, Kristen, and Matt, and our Facebook subscribers, Brandy and Keith. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. You're amazing.
Yeah.
We love you with our little wicked mysterious hearts. All right. Yeah, we'll catch you next week. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Stay
mysterious.